Thank you so much.
Taking notes from the films everywhere. And the street food in Delhi is amazing. So I used to enjoy it at night and have my own space, my own creative space, learning space. And Delhi has done that to me, and it's been wonderful. The journey has been wonderful. Thank you, all of you, for that.
Wow, so that means you have actually discovered Delhi like a localite, and that's great, right?
Yes, of course.
All right, so that was a brilliant answer. Coming up to you, Shobita. I'm sorry for saying it wrong. You have to tell the media what is it called, your character.
No, I want you to say it right.
You'll say it and then I'll repeat after you.
Okay, Vanati.
Vanity.
Yes.
Vanity. That's the right pronunciation. Vanity. All right. You're a bundle of talent. We have seen you on the OTT. You've just captured the digital platform so well. But I want to know from you that is it different while shooting for a digital platform or for the big screen cinema? Is it difficult? Is it different? What is your take on that?
As an actor, your job largely remains the same, which is to be as truthful and as honest with your performance. But I think that when it's fleshed out a lot more, you enjoy that. Sometimes that happens in films, and sometimes in a show. So I think
Your experience of shooting this larger than life movie. We want to know from you because you can also give us some history lessons we have seen on the internet. So, want to know that from you.
Hi everybody. Like Ravi, I also have a connection with Delhi, but closer home. My wife studied here and lived here all her life. So I was compelled to like Delhi even before I got here. She tell me stories about food, about the places, whatever she did here. And once I came here and I realized it was all true. It's one of the most nicest places I've ever been. This is a wonderful film, which all of us are so proud to be a part of. This is something that's happened like in the 9th or 10th century. It was then, and it's based on a book. I think Karthi will be the best expert on that, so I'll skip that part. I think all of us have very interesting characters in this, and I'm doing my dream character in this called Aditya Karikalan, who was seen him on the horse. That was me. I don't know if you recognize me now, but that's me. And I've always wanted to do a role that's princely and look regal and look beautiful. And how much more spectacular can it get than when it's done in a Mani Ratnam sir's movie? And it's another dream come true for me. And I'm so proud to be a part of this wonderful film and working with such a lovely, accomplished star cast. Thank you guys for being around.
Thank you so much, sir. Thanks a lot. Coming up to you, Trisha, you are looking absolutely beautiful. Look at that smile. We all love her, don't we? Come on. All right, Trisha, I've seen you with some really heavy jewelry in the movie, right? It looks so authentic. We want to know from you, was it real and how difficult was it shooting with all that, gehnas on you, all that jewelry?
Of course it was real. Manisa would not have it any other way. Firstly, good evening everyone, and thank you for coming here to support us. It means a lot to us. And I'm so happy to be in the capital. To be honest, I have frequently come to Delhi, but this is my first time I'm coming here for a film. And that means a lot to me to be over here, part of this magnum opus and sharing stage with, like Kenny said, some of the most accomplished actors, and to be part of Manisa's film, to play Kundavai in this film. And Kundavai is a character that a lot of people have grown up reading. They have already visualized her, they already have been inspired by her, they have an opinion about her. So I hope that I have done justice to Kundavai. I'm sure Manisa would answer that question better. And well, coming back to your question, yes, the jewelry was very real, head to toe. Even the things Kundavai or any of us wore on our heads or toes or ankles were all real jewelry, because I think that would contribute to the magnitude and grandeur of the film, which was very necessary. It had to be real to look a certain way. So, and yes, to also answer your second question, it was very tough because it took about 40 minutes to get into it. For both the men and the women, usually I feel the heroines take longer to get ready, but in this case, it was pretty hard for the guys as well. We were all up at 2 a.m. getting ready, and but it was fun because we were doing it together end of the day.
Exactly. That's
The
so
horses
beautiful.
took time to get ready.
Even the horses took
Horses
time
had
to
so
get
much paraphernalia.
Yeah, true that.
So much grandeur, even for the horses. Beautiful. We have the legend with us, Mani Ratnam sir. Everyone, can we all please give a big hand? So many people tried making this movie over the past few decades. So many people tried it, but finally, you are the one bringing it on the big cinemas. We want to know the journey of it all from you.
Good evening, everyone. Glad to be here. Amongst the many people who've tried before, I was also one of them. I've tried it several times. I think it is for a particular reason, probably we couldn't do it at that point of time. Today is probably the more appropriate time for this kind of a film because technology has improved vastly, and so we were able to achieve a lot of it with a kind of a realistic look and not like a make-believe. So I think it was for that purpose it was left behind, and we're glad that it's been a long journey. I mean, I remember reading this book when I was in school, and from then it has been a very, very inspiring book, inspiring everyone in Tamil Nadu who's read it. Kalki is the name of the author who's written this, and it used to be a rage when it was published as a weekly, and since then, over all these decades, it has been the best-selling book in every book fair in down south. So it is a very special book, and a lot of people have their own memories of it, their own vision of it, and they almost own it. So the only way I could do it is to believe that I also own it, and I've tried to do my best with the help of each and every one of them. All of them have put in everything, including the technicians who are all brilliant. And if at all the movie is shaped up somewhere, it's because of all of them.
Exactly. We're really looking forward to 30th September to see that grandeur on the big screen. And now, coming to the goddess of beauty with us, Aishwarya Rai Bachchan. Come on everyone, please put your hands together. We are always so delighted to see you on the big screens, and once again, we can see you there. And in the trailer, you look so gaudy. You have this charm, you know. You are a true beauty. Look, मेरी आवाज लड़खड़ा रही है इनसे बात करते हुए. That's the charm of Aishwarya Rai Bachchan here, guys. आपसे सिर्फ ये जानना चाहती हूँ, what was your experience filming, shooting with this entire star cast, such talent, and this larger-than-life movie?
Firstly, thank you so very much for your generosity. It's a bit much, but I'm very, very humbled, and thank you very, very much. I'd like to thank everybody here who has come out to support our film, showing us our love, and giving us your good wishes and blessings. So thank you so much for joining us this evening. Good evening, namaskar, namaste, vanakkam, namaskaram, and I could say it in every language possible, but being Indian, we'll stick with namaste, and thank you so much for being here. This movie is a labor of love, and beginning with our Guru, Mani sir, and when you just asked him that, and I was listening to him, and I've heard him say it so often, and he always says, I'm glad, he made it now. He doesn't know how glad we all are that he made it now. Talk about, he can say it is the right time, but for each one of us here sitting in front of you and everybody involved in the making of Ponniyin Selvan, we are very, very grateful that this is the right time. We surely have been in the right place, and with complete gratitude to you, sir, that we are part of your dream project, that we got to be part of this narrative on celluloid. It is Kalki sir's classic, and everybody in the South is very, very familiar with the books. and it's very close to everybody's heart who has read the book, the series of books actually. But when you discover the story, and you must, and you will, through both these movies, you will know exactly why. It is such an exciting, enticing, interesting, riveting narrative. And yes, it gives you an insight into history, and yet it has the magic of how and where it's been fictionalized, and that is why one can see why a filmmaker like Mani sir would want to bring this on celluloid as his dream project, and how fortunate we are that we got to be a part of his dream film, because it's said in the Mani Ratnam style on celluloid, and we got to be part of that. I have had the good fortune of being part of several movies which are, which have had larger than life narratives, and I get often asked that how is this special? This is a Mani Ratnam movie, and that's what makes it super special. And when you go and watch it, you'll know exactly why. As an artist, I got to be part of such an amazing group of talents that have come together to work committedly and in absolute sincerity, as we'd not have it any different in a Mani Ratnam film, in a Mani Ratnam production. We all come in like students, we commit wholeheartedly. 3 o'clock in the morning is the norm, we don't even think about it, it's a given, but it's natural and we see why. It is, like I said, it is, we all know it as Brahm Muhurta, we all know it as Suprabhat hour, but you see why, magic happens. There is wisdom in early to rise and getting to work, and magic happens when we're all there in it together. What an incredible cast, what an amazing group of technicians, and what a committed group of crew members, assistant directors, people who worked on set design, people who worked on, taking care of even the animals on film, all the artists and all the added crew members and added artists who've been part of the film, the costuming, I mean, everybody, you see it and you go, wow, but the kind of hard work that goes into the planning, the every day of getting everything together, like you talk about the jewelry, that's one aspect, but authenticity from head to toe of every character, and to hit timelines and to go out there and to be able to allow us as actors to comfortably become the characters takes a lot of work of all the crew members, and yeah, there we are doing our work. We enjoy you all appreciating our work on celluloid, but there are so many who will come in on those end titles that go so quickly, but full respect, absolute applause for the hard work put in by every one of them, and all our gratitude to all of them. So thank you once again, Manigaru, for having us on board, for having me yet again in your film, and it's never enough. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Garu.
Oh, thank you so much. So beautifully answered. And yes, we are ready to see that on the screen on 30th September. All the hard work is going to finally pay off at that time for everyone involved in the movie.
It's already paid off for us. The day, was the last day of the making of the film, and he has said it's done. It's paid off for us completely. So we are just grateful to be part of it, and we will cherish this forever. But yes, we'd love for the audience also to enjoy viewing it as much as we did making it.
Absolutely, absolutely. I feel that every film that Mani Ratnam sir makes is an absolute delight for the audiences as well. It's a gift to the audiences from Mani sir. So really looking forward for that. And now coming up to our bundle of talent there, Karthi with us. Come on everyone, can we all please give him a big round of applause? We feel that he has gone through the most history lessons. He knows the movie inside out.
That's the man.
Yes, you both are. And we know a little secret that you have been the assistant director for Mani Ratnam
It's
sir.
not a secret. Everyone knows.
So, but now you are one of the lead actors in his movie. So how's the journey been and how's been your experience?
Wow. Yeah, they have time.
Yes.
No. Say only the good things.
Yes, no, I already said it. Very good evening to everybody. I think for me it's the first time as an actor in Delhi. It's such a pleasure to meet all of you. Thank you for coming and supporting us. I started my life, I would say life itself, as an AD with Manisa because that's when I discovered what I wanted to do in life. I wanted to be something in films and I wanted to learn filmmaking with Manisa. And all the discipline that I have till today and the passion that I would love to have is all what I've learned watching Manisa at work. So from being an assistant director and then taking one small gap saying, sir, I'm getting a chance to act. If it doesn't work out, I'll come back to you. And I went out with that word that he would take me back. Thankfully the film worked and then my journey changed and I became an actor. But then again I had to come back and work with Sir in 2017 when I thought I completely relearned everything. That's one experience all of us have as actors, that you come here, you unlearn so many things and you relearn things. You know, that's a very important part of my life where I got another push in the sense of the way I approach the characters or the way I select films or what kind of films I would want to do. You know, rather than running after success, you have to run after happiness or what satisfies you. You know, that gave me a lot of clarity in how I approach work at all. So I think the peace that I have or the energy that I have to go to shoot, I think it all comes from Mani sir. I cannot say thanks because he's given it to me and I'm a student.
Yeah.
But this film I think is too special for all of us, for Mani sir himself. And like we've heard films which have been made from books. Like we know of Harry Potter, we know of Lord of the Rings, which have become classics, where people have read the books, then come and watch the film, then gone back and read the books again. It's become big bestsellers. But now in India, this is one time we're so proud to bring this film to you. This book, which was written in 1950 as a series and then published in 1955, and till today it's one of the best selling books. It's feeding so many publishers till today. It's sold so much, and finally now it's being made into a film where it is in a format where we are talking about our heritage and culture, but it also gives such an engaging screenplay, an engaging story for all of us to watch about characters. So it's not a history lesson, but rather it's a very interesting film, and it's historical fiction. So there are about 40% of it which really happened 1,000 years back, and the rest is fictionalized so beautifully by Kalki sir. So we're all very proud to be just part of it. I was telling sir, even if you want me to act as horse, I would act as a horse. That's how much everybody wanted to be part of it. And this particular film, I think sir really enjoyed making it. You know, he's always set standards for visuals and music. And when joining with Rahman sir and presenting this film with Ravi sir, and all three of them, what they've done on screen was pure magic for us. Because we do not have a visual for how India looked 1,000 years back. We do not know. But now we're getting a visual to imagine how our forefathers lived here in India. And how prolific they were, how trades was happening, or how rich they were in sense of art and culture, when the rest of the world was still trying to, form families and become a civilization. We already had built temples.
Exactly.
We already had literature, poetry. So I think it's something which we have to give to our children. In that way, I think we're very, very proud of this film. And thank you for all your love and support. And like sir said, I've said the good things before in other interviews. Sir stopped hitting his assistants. So that way we're all safer now.
Thank you so much. And now I'm sure the media is all set and ready to ask a lot of questions. So the floor is all open for the media Q&A. Thank you.
Hello there. Hi, nice to see you all again. So, basically, my question is, talk about.
We can hear you, Pooja.
Okay, definitely. All women today, the healthy women, are so strong. This is the 3 ladies. Beautifully edged, and they are the ones who are actually wielding power. What was it like for the 3 of you to play these amazing characters, dive into these characters of 3 ladies in this film?
Hi. You know, what you said was something we kind of worked on even in the film, because besides looking physically different, of course, because we had to belong to that era, I felt like when I was playing Kundavai, it was actually a woman of today, very strong, very empowered, something that I could totally relate to. So that part of Kundavai was something I feel like I took from today, but and just put it in her. But of course, she looked different. She looked like a girl who belonged to that era. So that part of it was something that I think, I mean, I don't know how Kalki sir wrote it because the women are so strong. Sometimes even in some scenes, maybe slightly overpowering the men and having a stand. So that was really challenging. It's not like we're just standing there like princesses and queens. We're actually like over there with brain power and using our intelligence in the kingdom. And especially back in that era, it was kind of frowned upon because there are dialogues even in the film saying, she's a woman, why is she walking into a courtroom where there are 20 men and saying these things? But that's the kind of strength the women had in Ponniyin Selvan. So yeah, that's why it was more challenging to play it.
Ash, your character, Nandini, a lot of people said that actually, how do I put it, the antagonist. Not so, she's just a woman with a mind. I want to ask you about playing Nandini.
That's what I wanted to acknowledge, Pooja, that the answers in your questions, because I can see an empowered woman asking the question. Because you obviously respect and appreciate and acknowledge a woman of substance. And I'm glad that you have recognized that the women in this narrative are just that. They are women of substance. And firstly, full power to Kalki sir to have written this at the time that he did. Considering he was delving into a slice of a very, very impactful slice of history and making the narrative into, like I said earlier, an engaging and an enticing fictionalized piece. Then to write in characters and women to, excuse me, sir, you're in her way. Thank you. Right. And to write characters, the women, in the way that he has, with who, like the ladies here will have already said and will agree with me, that they are contemporary, they're eternal. They're women who will be relatable at any point in time, because women have always been strong. Women have just been given opportunity differently at different times down the ages. So what we women know is we have always had the intelligence. We have always looked for the opportunity to have contributed directly, or we definitely have indirectly, forever. And you know, charted the course of events, of life itself, of contributing to the thinking power of our opposite gender in all the interactions, because frankly we're all human beings. You know, I mean, I don't want to get into an entire narrative about now gender equality, but that the fact is that as people, we have always pretty much experienced just being human beings, and we all have thinking power, we all have experiences, and we all pretty much react. We are human beings capable of reaction, of contribution, of having an opinion. And it's wonderful in this narrative how the women too have it or find a way of expressing it. And very honestly, who better than Mani Ratnam as a maker to have brought the characters, the leading ladies in the narrative to life on celluloid, because that's something I can say from experience. In every movie I've worked with him, I've had the opportunity to be that that lady or the female character in his narrative. It's amazing. That's something he always also refers to. He's like, what are you thinking? As an actor, he wants the actor to bring to life the thought behind. It's not just the dialogue that is being said or a scene. He likes us to bring what's within to fore. And it's always been about the mind. It's always been about intelligence is not defined in the conventional way, but intelligence has always been attributed to the ladies. I have had to essay with her, whether it was Pushpa, whether it was Kalpana, whether it was Sujata, whether it was Ragini, and today Nandini. So I'm very, very grateful that at every point in time, the women in his narrative are always strong, and they always bring substance to the narrative. So it's just very, very engaging and exciting for us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pooja.
Hello everyone.
Oh, 1 minute, even 1 minute. Shobita needs to answer this too. Please go ahead.
Hello everyone. Sorry.
Hi Pooja.
Hi.
My experience has been, I think, slightly off-center in the sense that I've largely played parts that were slightly more steeped in the kind of stories they belonged in. They were slightly more intense, and this was an opportunity for me to play somebody who was nimble-footed, someone who was light-hearted, someone who was happy and uncorrupted by human politics. But what was interesting to me was that with Manisa, I discovered that innocence, something that my character Vanati embodies, it doesn't necessarily have to be coy or like, my, Sharmili. It doesn't necessarily have to be just that. Absolute truthfulness. There is also sort of innocence in that, in just speaking your mind and having, like, thinking aloud. There's a certain innocence and naivety in that, and that is the version of innocence that he was excited to represent. So that really excited me, and I think I discovered joy for myself through the character as well, so that was special.
Hi everybody. Seema Dhawan over here. Manisa, the film is an adaptation of the novel which was written 70 years ago. And it's written in 5 volumes. How challenging was it for you to condense it into 2 parts?
I'd be lying if I say was not challenging. It was, because I think the way he's written, and they could have made 10 parts of it. Each book could have been made into 2 movies easily. There's so much material, so much details, so many characters which were interesting, and so many events that were happening and representing. But film needs a certain amount of structure, and this is a structure that we chose to bring it into 2 parts. And so there were parts which we have to now condense, and we have to bridge it. And but apart from that, the core of the novel and the core of the movie will be the same. The heart of it will be closer to what Kalki had written. That was what we were aiming at.
Hi, Ashu. My question is for Vikram sir. Hi sir, you've already worked with Aishwarya before in Ravi. So how it was to reunite with her again, and that too with the Mani Ratnam film you tried. How was the experience? How do you define her as your co-actor?
I think India has some of the most beautiful women in the world, and proof is that we've gotten almost every beauty pageant. We've won almost every title. It's been going on for years, and in fact, actually, incidentally, I'm sitting on stage with 3. I think you're Miss Chennai, Miss. Everyone knows that. You're also Miss India. So that's another thing for this movie. But the thing is, all of them, they've been fabulous, but I don't know why. She's always stolen everyone's heart, and you do respect to these 2 people here. Every time, there have been many women who've been queens, but Aish has always been symbolic of that picture of perfection that we always look up to. And I really didn't, I've seen her films, I watched her, and I think it wasn't just about beauty, it was what she stood for, how I've always felt she's been under a microscope. It's so very difficult being her. She's constantly being watched, constantly needs to be perfect. And let me tell you, she has done it in style. Like the first time I ever saw her was, she hadn't even got the title yet. I told her the other day before yesterday. I was in the crowd, I was still a struggling actor, I think, or hadn't even gotten it. And as she walked in, suddenly the cloth got caught in her leg and she stumbled. And I thought she's going to fall on her face. She stumbled, she did a couple of missteps, then she gathered her poise, came back and did the routine, whatever she was supposed to do. And there were so many of them, and it struck me, this person is she's going places. I mean, I don't know, I sensed that in her, the confidence, the poise, the grace, and she did become whoever she became. But what was nice is anywhere you go, even in Chennai and South India, even till today, there will be jewelry stores, there will be sari stores with her picture. It always is that. And finally, when I got to work with her, I saw the other side where she was professional. And I was lucky, actually it's 3 films with her actually, because I've done Ravi in Hindi too, where I was paired opposite her again. And I like the way, what she puts into a character, and it's very difficult. I mean, now she's, actually in this movie it's even more difficult, because now she's a mother, and she needs to spend time at home, and she needs to give Abhishek his time, I'm sure. And in spite of all that, get her lines straight, and Aradhya, and I mean, she's growing up so fast, and I mean, and she's still under the microscope. And it's such a scary place. They always say, right, it's lonely at the top and it's very scary. And Aish, I mean, it must be so scary being who you are. But it's so nice being with you, working with you, and enjoying that chemistry that, I don't know, somehow both our films, I think, we exude a kind of chemistry which, I mean, it's very organic. We've not really worked at it, but all our fans usually keep saying, it's so nice to see you all as a pair. And the only thing is I never get her in the movies. Every movie, they knock me off.
But we are such exciting, different characters to play each
Yeah, but
time.
how many
I think
times do I have
that's
to
what-
die for you, Aish? Please.
Here we'll keep them guessing, no. Here let them go and figure out.
And the other person I have great chemistry is Trisha. And with her too, one film they knocked me off. Why is that? I don't know. I think they like you.
And now you're my brother.
Now I'm her brother. I think I kind of like this too. But working with her was that. And what I liked most about her as an actor is like I study my character a lot. I'm very focused. I'm very persistent. I'm very committed to what I do. She is so meticulous in what she does. In every shot, I'll watch her. She'll ask Santosh, is this the range? And then she'll adjust her sari. She'll adjust her. And even if it's dirt, Manisa will say, okay, come, ready. I'll go roll in the dust and come off. Aish will get that one piece of stone, she'll keep it there, and she'll keep a straw, and the continuity will be perfect. No, not a millimeter this side, not a millimeter that side. Then the hair is just that one strand, no, not that hair, not that strand, the other strand, and stuff like that. And then when you see her dance, I mean, I competed with her when we were acting, it was obviously, but the thing is, in Hindi, when she was doing that song, I didn't realize. I was in the shot, I was holding a glass of wine, I think, and she's dancing. And I was watching her, and the shot was running, and suddenly I realized, oh, I need to do something. Oh yeah, like I actually literally, I mean, I think that's the only time I've ever forgotten myself in a shot. That's an honest confession. She dances so beautifully. It's beauty in motion. I mean, the music in motion, the way she dances. So, I mean, I'm also, obviously one of your fans, and it's such a great pleasure to work with you, Aish, and it's so nice to see you again embody all that in your role in Nandini, and all of them have very strong roles. I mean, we have strong roles too, but the women are so empowered, and Nandini, I think, like how Kundavai is so strong, Nandini again is a very, very strong character, and she's not the antagonist. I mean, to be very honest with Pooja, she's more like, hi Pooja, everybody knows you. You too. There's no antagonist in this movie. I mean, I think so I would agree with me. It's more about, it's not even about grey. I think everybody's justified in what they want and what they want to achieve, what they've lost, what they've been betrayed at, and they fight for it. So all of us have a reason to be who we are, and all of us are flawed in a way, and I'm most flawed in this. And it's so nice to do something like that in a Manisa's film, because he gives you that opportunity to explore and to try something very different. I mean, every film that he's done has been so iconic, and it's been so very, very, very different. The South, we call him the Steven Spielberg of India, and he surely is that. I think he's on par with him. He tries to do something different every time, and every time he hits the bullseye. And every time, what he does to the actor is so very different, what he expects from you and how he brings it out. He never goes to an actor and says, do this. He'll tell them who they are, what they've done. He's told me scenes from my childhood, it's not there in the movie. And he'll inspire me to bring out something. And in Ravanan, it was since I had 10 different characters playing in my head, we had a field day. Every scene was, let's try this. No, let's make him more melancholic. Let's make him more pensive. No, he can be aggressive. Can he be vulnerable? So we will try the whole scene, and sometimes we'll reshoot that same scene again in Hindi or in Tamil because we'll have blocked something which is really exciting. So working with him each time has been like working in a, like being in an acting workshop. You forget you're an actor. I think all of us did. And I think this is one of those rare films. I think Ponniyin Selvan has, of course, done multi-stars before. He's done huge films always. But this film is the only film I know, to my knowledge, which has only heroes and only heroes in the film. Except maybe a couple of actors and the horses, of course, and the elephants. But other than that, everybody has been or is a hero or is a star of his own. And we all are in that film because we know what he's capable of doing. I was one of the first actors to be signed. And so I didn't get that opportunity to feel anticipation, which every other actor in the industry must have felt in those first month or two when he was selecting the cast, and when he must have thought, okay, let me think of this guy for this role, or let me think of Arun Murivarman, let me think of Vandiyathevan, or let me think of Periya Pallavitran. Everybody would have imagined himself in a particular role or in all the roles. Like I would have imagined myself in all three roles. They're such wonderful roles, and they're so much more wonderful when they are with the maestro. Thank you so much. And I must just add this, I'm sorry, let's take another minute. We had taken Ravan to Venice, had the pleasure of watching it in an auditorium, and it was not the press, it was not critics, it was not anybody connected to the cinema. And they wanted us to just step in, and it was a general audience. And the movie started, and Manisa said, let's go. I said, so it's an Italian audience, let's just sit in, let's just watch a little. Then after another half an hour, I said, shall we go? We've seen enough of this. I said, no, sir, let's watch. Because we'd seen a lot of shows, we've been traveling around. Then the movie got over, and we got up to go. And as they stood up, two couples ran up, because I think they were late. Then the others started clapping. And we were, of course, overjoyed. The whole auditorium clapped, and they were saying, bravo, maestro, bravo. And it felt so good being there. And we were standing there because 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 20 seconds, and he says, are they trolling us? I mean, should we leave? And I said, sir, no, sir, I think it's genuine. Let's just wait, sir. He said, should we go? I said, no, wait. And you won't believe, I swear, I'm not even kidding. They clapped for more than 5 minutes for what this man was able to bring on that screen. And what was nice is, they were not influenced by any story. They didn't know anything about any of the movies that could have, any of the stories that could have been a background for Ravan. They just saw the craft. They saw what he could bring about and how he could encase and showcase India. They loved it. And I, again, through their eyes, I saw what he saw. It was so beautiful what they saw, how they saw India. And again, you're going to see something from the 9th or 10th dynasty, the Chola dynasty, which was one of the greatest dynasties of all time in India. And the best maritime, the naval unit that they had, that was the biggest maritime army that they had. And they conquered all the way from Gujarat down, Goa, Kerala, China, Ceylon, Sri Lanka, Tamil Nadu, Andhra, Orissa, all the way to Burma. Then they went to Malaysia, they went to Indonesia, and then they sent emissaries to China because he was so smart. The king, that's Rajaraja Cholan and his father and his son, they wanted to conquer all the ports because that's the only way. Trade was what is most important. Everybody had to pass through these trades, through these ports, and that's what they did. And that's the story that we're showcasing in this. And it's so nice that we're all part of this, and it's so nice that someone like Manisa can bring about that authenticity, bring it on screen, and I'm so sure you're all going to be enthralled when you watch it. Thank you, Manisa, once again for having us on this, on board, and I was jealous of Karthi because Karthi's been an AD, so I cheated, and during this making of this movie, I also was an AD for a couple of scenes, and gave me greater pleasure than being an actor, being an AD. And thank you, Karthik, he stopped beating the ADs, so I was lucky. Thanks again.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your generosity. Thank you.
Towards your right, the question is for Manisa. The book was written, the book 5-part series was written in 1950. When you adapt it in 2022, a lot has changed. People are more, if I can use the word woke, people get easily offended. So was it a challenge to adapt it for the present times to make it more relevant?
and ultimately it is a story from the pages of history. So how relevant is it in the present times?
I think it's something that is set 1,000 years back, written 70 years back, but I think it is totally relevant today. I think whatever the film speaks about is relevant today, and that is why there have been so many attempts to make it during the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. So it was relevant in all those periods. There's some elements which don't change. Human nature doesn't change, and the struggle for power, and the growth, and desire, angst, jealousy, all that doesn't change. It is inherent and it is reflected in different forms. So the beauty of the book is that it captures that. The soul, the heart of it captures something which has stayed this long. And it was difficult to adapt it, but not for the reason whether it's relevant today. It's absolutely relevant. It was difficult because he had written it so beautifully.
May I add to that, please? This story has all that, but Sobita rightly said yesterday, she said there's another factor that we need to add in. It's about love, it's about romance, but you love something. All of us have romances in this film. Every character has a love story going. Even Anandini actually has a love story going with power, with a throne. While she's got one with me, while she's got one with her husband, and everybody, like Karthik has a love for adventure. And he's like, every woman loves him and he is sorted by, yeah, and he loves every woman. and of course, he's captivated by Kundavai's character. Likewise, she's in love again with Ravi, and Ravi, of course, is in love with nothing. He wants to become a ascetic. He wants to become a hermit, and contrary to what he is in real life. So it's like that. It's every character. There's so much of love, and I think love is universal, and love can never, outgrow time.
Just say one thing. My daughter is 9 years old. She's reading the book, and it's tough to pull her off the book. So, yeah.
She loves the book. She's in love with the book.
Hi, I'm Ravi from Hindustan Dance. But as far as the whole Hindi belt is concerned, you're sort of starting out in a way, right? Did you have any inhibitions on what prompted you to take up this project?
Nothing, money, sir. It's all said there. But I wouldn't say people don't know me, because I went to Kashmir and I took my daughter. We were trying to buy chips. There was only one shop, and I was buying chips, and the person there recognized me. He said, "Aren't you Kashmora?" He knew the character that I played. I think we've been getting so much love from the north. People know all of us. We were stopped by so many people in the airport, so I think it's nothing new. But I'm very glad that I'm getting introduced in a proper Hindi film now, because it's releasing in 5 languages, and in a Manisa's film, and especially this kind of a spectacle. I think I'm all the more confident that I'm getting introduced in a right film. I'm going to, so many people are going to watch this film, so I'm very confident, I'm very, very happy and thankful.
And dare I beg to differ, please, because I think it's also an amazing time right now, where I think we need to break away from perceiving in the oft, what do you say, typical way of looking at artists or cinema. I think it's such a great time right now where all these barriers have gone down. People know our cinema nationally, and in fact they're hankering and they're wanting to see cinema from every part. It was just, I think it's just finally the perfect time where it's become accessible nationally through so many platforms, where everybody can view cinema for what it is across India. So I think we need to kind of break away from this conventional way of thinking and help our viewers, our audience, our readers also to not slide into that typical way of viewing art. Art has always been there and found the audience and been appreciated, and so have the artists. but avenues were limited, and today is a great time where it has become accessible to everybody, and the proof of the pudding is in the eating, right? Can't you see? I mean, it's so evident now where people are embracing and lapping up cinema across the country, which is a great time, very liberating for all of us, and we collectively need to kind of give more power to this liberation together, right? Thank you.
Well, actually, it feels good to be a newcomer.
That we are assured in a Maniratnam film daily, not only through every film, on a daily basis. It's always the first time. It's always figuring out how to keep it real, and we will always be a new student on a daily basis on set, and that's why we're all, I think, inspired and excited.
And also, he himself is a newcomer. And every time his movie, especially this film was like, it's his first film, I think, the effort he's put in, and the way he has that gleam in his eyes every day,
Absolutely.
the morning and once it's, except for my scenes, most of the scenes when he's done through the day, he's very happy. But
That's the passion that's
So all of us
infectious
are
and
newcomers in
contagious.
this
No,
act.
we all absolutely are inspired on a daily basis. Everybody, the actors, the technicians, the ADs, and the beauty is his humility. I mean, even now, when you say what you do, he'll keep saying, really? No. When we say, sir, how do you know which one? He says, what I know is what I don't know. The rest of it, even I'm willing to find out with you. Which is, I mean, we actually are like, our jaws drop, even if it's not visible. We're like, I mean, he's actually saying that he's looking to discover it with you. You know, to find the realms or the levels or the depths or how many layers are there to any character or to a scene. He's searching, and that it is so pure and so obvious to us, right? That we're all searching constantly, and only he knows when the magic happens. We always say that when we think we have cracked it, it's not. And so we'll still be going through figuring out how to get the scene done. And when we wonder, did it really happen, is when he's already moved on to setting up the next shot. And everybody will be confused. We'll all be looking, including, we look at the DOP also, and he'll be like, it's moved, it's done. It's got, we're like, really, it happened now? And that's when, you know, the takers, and this has happened so many times from the first movie till now with him. And I love it, that's magical, because it keeps you searching, and that's such a wonderful thing to experience, to feel new, feel like a newcomer.
I had requested each one of them to say nice things about me. Just
Humility is signature.
so that's what's happening. So please don't mind
We
it.
paid well.
Ignore it.
We paid as well.
it's in the name.
You know, just want to add on one more thing as well. It's probably why people like us who have quite a large body of work, we're always different in Manisha's films. It's never like any other film we've done or acted in. So even our performance is always different.
Thank you.
I was well paid too.
And I think Ravan is the only film where she told me I like my performance. That's her favorite role till today. So that again. Shines.
Gaurav from Newsroom Post. Manish sir, and my question is for Manish sir and Ravi sir. Manish sir, first of all, please salute. Can you lift him?
Yeah, I can see.
We salute you for this magnum opus. And my question is that the novel you choose to adapt the film is about 2,000 pages long and is still considered bestseller. So my Hindi audience would like to know you, what you found so special. What you found so special in this that it is your dream project. It is your dream project since 90s. So my Hindi audience would like to know you. What is the special in the novel? So
I think there are too many things that are special in the novel, but I'll tell you only what fascinated me, what drew me first into this novel. I was probably finishing school when I first read it, and I never thought I'd become a filmmaker. I was just like everybody else, I was reading things in this book. I happened to pick up from a lending library and read it, and from the time I started reading it, I could see it in front of me. He has written it so vividly that it looked like a spectacle, it looked like large, and it looked like something which is, you know. And later I realized that was the book, but beyond that there were other things which was not visible for a, you know, just finishing school student. That there were people, and there were characters, and there was intrigue, and there was absolute adventure. It is just meant for big screen. It has all the glorious thing that a cinema can bring across. I think the two of them blended together, the brilliance and the spectacle, along with the intelligence and characters and intrigue and honesty. And with it, he has planted so much of historic details, so much of research, so much of authenticity. And he describes the music that was there, he describes the songs that were written at that time, he describes the temples that were built, and who did what, and what are the social and cultural revolution that they did. So everything was there. So it was not just me. I think whoever has read the book have loved it.
I'm so sorry, I just want to bolster that point. See, anyone who's in love with a girl, they take her out, they get her a flower, maybe a gift, and go for a drive. His wife had an interesting anecdote. Before they got married, the first time they ever met in a coffee shop, he had this bag, and she thought it's a gift. And then she asked him what it is, and he gave 5 novels of Ponniyin Selvan and said, read this and give me the one line, And she was seriously, I said, did you get me something? He said, no, it's just this. He was so obsessed with it that instead of trying to impress her, he gave her the books, and I think that's how crazy he's been about the film.
Ravi sir, please tell us about your characteristics, Raja Chola. While playing your movie, what you learned about the character Raja Chola?
Yeah, first of all, Manisha called me to his office to give me that good news that I'm going to play Raja Chola. When I heard that, I made sure, is there a third person here so that I'll have a proof of what he's saying, because it's Ponniyin Selvan. He is Ponniyin Selvan, so it's an important role. And I was having that pressure first of all, and Mani sir made sure that he took it off me by sharing certain details about the character, by giving me confidence. Then he told me, Ravi, this is the most important for me because we both have to do this. I cannot do it alone. We both have to do it. So whatever concentration you have, put it on the table. Let's do it together. That's what he said first. And I'm a director's actor. And if it is Mani sir, there's no question. I gave my fullest concentration to him. First of all, I had that 1 hour of delay because I kept admiring Mani sir first. Whatever he was saying, this director who's made this film, that film, Talapati, Nayak, Roja, that admiration for him didn't go. Then Mani sir pointed it out, Ravi, snap out of it, come on, we have to do it together. It's an important thing which we should address. And he started saying things like, first of all, wherever he sees is his kingdom, his people, everything is his. He's politically correct, he's socially correct. And how he is with his family, how he is with the other kings, how he's constructed so many dams at the age of 19, 20, that's in the book. So these are the things which he said, and I started getting that into my head. And Manisha told, be in the same mood, get out of my office. I mean, not so rudely. Go out of my office. Be Raja Chola for 6 months before shoot. This cannot happen in a day. So I tried that. I went to my house, sat on my terrace. I saw the people around. All the people are my people. I mean, basically, I love my people, every person. And I started realizing that. And then there was the beach. When I saw the beach, that beach is also mine. There is a 100 fleet of ships. It's there. Everything is mine. It started out comically, but it did help. Because our focus in the eye itself will change. We call it the focus shift, right? It'll change. It'll give you a larger vision. It's beautiful feeling. And I was Rajaraj Soda for 6 months at home also, mostly. And when I came to the set,
You almost lost his kingdom.
I didn't lose my kingdom, yeah. But that I didn't do it to my wife, no. So that was a beautiful experience. I really enjoyed it, and it's a difficult character because he has to be right to everybody. It's not possible, and he has to find a way to be right to everybody. So it's a brilliant character, and I love playing it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much.